It's time now for Carter's Corner. Everything Bay Area sports on the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network. Here is your host, Carter Kim.
Well, I guess that dream's over. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, and bees. Yeah, I think Daniel said it correctly. The Cubs got better. Bellinger to SF, please, God, no. I don't want Bellinger on this team, please. I can't do that. But news is the Chicago Cubs are acquiring the Houston Astros outfielder Kyle Tucker for Isaac Paredes, Hayden Wesneski, and the top prospect Cam Smith. What a trade. What a trade. That is a hell of a trade, ladies, gents, people of this world. Man, that is a great trade, too. Jeez, that is a great trade. I mean, so the Astros, I think they're giving up on Alex Bregman. He's not going to come back. I think that Isaac Paredes or Cam Smith is going to be taking over at third base. Hayden Wesneski adds another one. But, yeah, the Yankees team is still a contender, especially if they get Alonso. I think, yeah, I agree with that. The Yankees, they just have to add bats. And they also got they got Devin Williams, the closer. Yeah, that's a hell of a trade too. I like that a lot, but man, the Cubs just got much better. I mean, Jesus, that is a heck of a trade. I like that trade a lot. I mean, do we know anything about Caleb Durbin, that second baseman? No, not much. He's 5'6", a little short guy. Tiny man. Okay, that feels insulting. Anyway, Nes Cortez was finished out. No, yeah. That was one of the dumbest pitching decisions I've ever seen. Especially, you're going up against Freddie Freeman, who can hit both lefties and righties. You should have gone with Tim Hill and had him force a ground ball. But instead, you go to the wild card that is Nestor Cortez. For what? I mean, Jesus. Like, hold on. I got to blow my nose. Now it's very clear. But yeah, also Dodgers also not making moves for Freeman to sleep again. I mean, you guys got Blake Snell. And besides, the current roster you have can honestly just win a World Series right now. Y'all are fine. Y'all just got to get healthy. Health is the biggest concern with the Dodgers, but y'all be fine. A big whoop if you don't sign like every single player this offseason. You're probably in on like one or two other decent depth pieces as well. I mean, you don't need much. You just need depth. But, yeah, I mean, that is a heck of a trade. I mean, they didn't have to give up Seiya Suzuki either. They have Paredes. And now at third base, I think that signals that the Astros are letting, they're going to be letting Alex Bregman go. I think Isaac Paredes is going to be taking over now. I mean, but the second half of last year was really bad. But he's also only 25, Isaac Paredes, so that's really good for the Astros. I mean, there's a lot to like. But yeah, Paredes was up and down last year, but he was okay enough for the Astros to use him as a replacement. But yeah, along with that, Hayden Wesneski, who also looked okay last year. He's 27 right now. And then they got a prospect as well. I mean, I think both teams made out pretty good in this trade. They both have decent players and decent depth now. They're solid, not spectacular. I mean, things are looking good now. Things are looking much better for the Cubs. I mean, you just got to hope the Cubs actually do something this season because they are trying to get back to October, and they have been very inconsistent the last few years. And this is according to Jeff Passan, so this should be accurate. I mean, I decided to get the jump on this. I mean, we'll have to see how all this goes, but I am very, very impressed with how things have been going for our friends in Chicago. And Now Houston has retooled a little bit, which is impressive. They also have pitching now. I mean, they look good. The Astros, they look good. I like how they've been playing. And also the Cubs have been just trying to call. They're trying to make more room for their top prospects instead of like jamming everything up. But things look better now. I mean, come on. Man, ever since the Juan Soto signing came up and everything ended there, I mean, everything has just been out of its mind. I mean, so much chaos has been occurring ever since the Juan Soto signing. I mean, there was a spattering of signings before Juan Soto. Obviously, you had a couple other deals, like some small depth stuff and other things like that. Maybe, obviously, the Snell contract. But then after the Juan Soto signing, there was only like a couple signings a day or only like one signing a day. But then Juan Soto gets signed. There's like 2 or 3 deals a day, 4 deals a day, 5 deals a day, and consistently. And now everything is crazy. I have a feeling Burnes signs tonight. I would not be surprised. I mean, Corbin's been – I mean, I've heard a lot of rumors. We don't know for sure, but we've been hearing some good stuff about how he's been how things have been going. Sports Illustrated has a lot of conflicting stories. They think it might be us or the Red Sox. I just don't – the thing is about FSG is that they've been so cheap over the years, and I'm so surprised they're not doing much. I mean – it's a big deal, though. I mean, I think it's possible, though. I think Burnes might sign tonight. I think it's possible, but it's been a little quiet, and I'm just hoping things go well. Oh, my God, the Blue Jays. But, yeah, I mean, looking around the league, I mean, ever since the Soto signing, everybody's getting signed now. Like, we got Adames signed before Soto, which was huge. I was so glad that we actually got that done before because he might have wanted more after that. But it's good to see that happen. I do think in relatively a few days, I think Burnes will be signed. It's just been super quiet. I mean, it's possible now. Don't get me twisted. I think it's definitely possible, but it's definitely interesting to see how Tucker is going to do at Wrigley Field. He's going from a pretty hitters-friendly ballpark to also a pretty hitters-friendly ballpark. We'll have to see, but yeah, hold on. Let me see. Let me see this, whatchamacallit. We'll have to see. I'm just trying to see if I can get some more information because this was just going to be a quick little show because I also wanted to do some other stuff, but we'll have to see. Yeah, it's been pretty quiet though overall. I mean, when are we going to be playing our spring training games is my question, but yeah, I think Burnes. I think though, Drew, I think Burnes is a definite possibility. If we get Corbin Burnes, I will be stoked, man. I'll be so stoked. I mean, I want a guy like Corbin Burnes on my baseball team. He's an incredible player, and I like him immensely. Great guy. And I'm wondering how much we're going to be paying for him, but I think it'll be worth it for the most part. I mean, he's a Cy Young contender almost every year. Flaherty over Burnes, I disagree with that entirely, Ed. I mean, I think Flaherty's a good pitcher, but here's the difference, in my opinion, between these two pitchers is simple. I mean, Jack Flaherty, I'll start with Burnes. Burnes is an ace that you can pretty much put on any staff, and he'll probably be the best pitcher. And he can carry your team in any game. But I think here's the difference between him and Flaherty. Flaherty is a really good pitcher. I will never say he's not a good pitcher. But I think the difference between these two guys is very simple. Flaherty is a guy that plays better on a good team that's already stacked up. He's not a guy you ask to build around like they did with the Cardinals. But Tucker was a bad situation for the Giants. Better to get in free agency. I think that's possible. It depends on what the Cubs do. I wonder if they had a deal with Excel Sports and Tucker's agency. I wonder if they said, hey, listen, we'll trade for your guy, but he's got to sign back. And I'm not sure that's going to be the case. I think they're going to be waiting to the offseason, and they'll probably he might opt for free agency, but we'll see, babe. I think that overall, though, that's a very interesting situation. I mean, I didn't think we were going to actually get him necessarily, especially considering what we would have needed to give up. We would have needed to probably give up Eldridge. We probably would have needed to give up Harrison or maybe even Wisenhunt. And honestly, it's a tough one. Flaherty equals no loss of picks or international pool money in half the place. Flaherty is also younger. He has number 2 or 3 stuff. Yeah, I get the number 2 or 3 thing, but Ed, the thing is, we don't have a number 1. And I get that he can be a 2 or 3 guy, and he's got great stuff. I'm not doubting that. And I've never said he's a bad pitcher. I like him a lot. It's just if we got Corbin Burnes, I would be like, that's an ace. And I've been talking about this for so long. Hold on. I gotta get my Google Doc of like information and stuff like that. But let me just bring this up on the screen. Okay, so here we go. Was Mad Bum a number 1? You don't need a number 1 in the playoffs. I agree with you, Ed. I don't disagree whatsoever. I think you are right to a certain degree. I think if we were going to get Flaherty, I would not be mad at that. I would be happy about it. It's just we need to fill a role of an ace because this is what our staff looks like right now, Ed. This is it. We have the innings eater, a bunch of depth with Robbie Ray, and even then, I don't want this to happen because Jordan Hicks should not be starting. He should be back down the bullpen. Then we have a bunch of young guns who look really good. But other than that, we don't have 2 of the most important priorities filled out, which is an ace or a dynamo and a hard-throwing lefty. And that's really difficult. Orioles offered $50 million more for than the Giants, and the Blue Jays are driving up the price. Buster may walk. I don't know. Honestly, I've heard a lot of stuff about Corbin Burnes wanting to move back west. That's the biggest thing for him, and not the biggest thing, but besides the money, obviously. Money matters more than anything else. But what I have heard is that I have heard about the Blue Jays stuff, but honestly, it's like I don't think he wants to go to the Blue Jays because that team is a trash heap. I mean, other than Vlad Jr., the entire team has been in crutches or has too many problems. Springer's an albatross. I mean, I just don't think he wants to go there, even if the money is a little better. And I do get $50 million more. That's life-changing money, but it's also a little it's a little risky in my opinion. I still want Ha-Seong Kim. Are you with me? I think our infield's good. I think that we have Matt Chapman and Willie Adames at the shortstop and third base. I think Tyler Fitzgerald's really good at second. And I think that first base is going to be a platoon until Bryce Eldridge is ready to go. That's going to be a while from now, though. So I think that we should probably just stick to what we have. I think that an outfielder or a DH would be I think an outfielder, most of all, an outfielder would be the biggest priority. But Ha-Seong Kim's a good depth piece for a team, but considering he's been injured as well for like the last 3 months, a lot of teams are going to be careful about Flyers. Kim and Fitz can platoon infield and outfield. I don't really want to see. I just really want to see Fitz at second because he's shown good skill at shortstop, but he hasn't been the best fielder there. Though he can be a good fielder at second, I think. I think he's going to do the Marcus Semien thing and slide over to second, and he'll play better. That's my opinion. But I think Kim is a good depth piece, but I don't think he's necessarily a guy that I would want right now. But I do still think that the priority should be these 2 things, which are an ace and a hard-throwing lefty. I don't think we're going to get a hard-throwing lefty unless Robbie Ray eventually becomes that. But I think the ace right now, I would really love to get Corbin Burnes because Corbin Burnes, he's a Cy Young contender almost every year he plays. And right now, like, we don't have a lot of guys in the farm system that I can point to and say, oh yeah, that guy can be a big leaguer. Carson Wisenhunt might be, but that might be in like 2 years if I'm being honest. He hasn't been playing great. Giants should plug Goldie at first base for a 2-year with 1-year option until Eldridge comes up. I agree with that. Listen, that is one thing that I would love to have just as a little bit of icing on top. I would say as a bit of icing on top for this team, we get like a 1 year or 2 year band-aid at first. That is like my big like, oh yeah, this if this happens, I would be super happy. If we got that, that would be huge, and then we could just DH Goldie for for the next year if Eldridge comes up and plays super well. I think that he could be that guy, but this right here, the orange is my priority. I obviously think there is an effect that Ed mentioned that we could lose international pool money if we sign Burns, but I do think Corbin Burns is worth the risk there. I mean, there's just a certain amount of stuff we have to worry about right now. I mean, I really want to see at least one of these guys become a Giant, but yeah. If Adames is considered a clubhouse guy, he may be the reason Burns takes less money to become a Giant. I am a big believer in teammates and personal connections. I am a believer that that if we got Corbin Burns, it's definitely due to the fact that Adames is on this team. He did say during the press conference, hey, I'll give Corbin a call, see if he wants to come over. But I do genuinely think that since he's a clubhouse guy, Corbin would be like, you know what? I'll take less money. I'll come join the Giants. It's just it's a tough one, but I do think we are probably one of the best locations for him to go to. The ballpark's great. He's got a lot of advantages here. He'll have Logan as well. He'll have experience with Robbie. He'll be able to teach a bunch of young guns like Hayden and a bunch of other people. But that will be definitely interesting. If he becomes a Giant, I would be very happy. If the Cubs are open to a prospect package for Suzuki, I don't think, dude, that's tough because here's the thing about Suzuki. I would love to have Kurt Suzuki in like left field or maybe even DH him. Sorry, not Kurt Suzuki. Seiya Suzuki. Seiya Suzuki. He's a great player. It's just there's a couple issues. Sorry. So let me take this off the board. Seiya Suzuki. The biggest issue with trying to get him is that I'm worried that the Cubs are going to ask for too much because he had a really good time. When Cubs acquired Tucker, it made Bellinger more available as well. That's true. I'm just like, I'm worried about the notion of Cody Bellinger playing for this team because Cody Bellinger can be a good player, but he's wildly inconsistent. Let me just check Cody Bellinger. Last year, Cody Bellinger, he only had a 2.2 WAR. His batting average was okay, and he hit some home runs, but he was merely average. Ever since 2019, he's been pretty bad. I mean, he hasn't been terrible. I mean, he wasn't terrible for the last 2 years, but he's been kind of blah. But I would prefer Babe's option in getting Suzuki if we could get him. But the thing is, if the Cubs ask for too much, like if I would be willing to give up Schmidt and like Luciano, but I would not be willing to budge on one of our big prospects, like an Eldridge, like a Wisenhunt. I would be willing to give him other depth though. Well, give me a second. But like, let's look at Seiya Suzuki. He would be an amazing, and I really mean this, an amazing pitcher to get. A hitter, sorry, pitcher. What am I talking about? An amazing hitter to get. I mean, look at those numbers. Everything is in the red or like up red or average, except for the K percentage, which is genuinely concerning. But look at those slash mark stats. He's great there. He hits home runs. He steals bags sometimes. He's also 30. He's 30, but that's a little more like whatever. But yeah. Lefty batter like Belly will be able to balance our lineup more. That's fair. It's just, yeah, I just don't. Bellinger just feels like such an inconsistent player. That's the biggest problem with Cody Bellinger, in my opinion. He's not a bad player. It's just the notion of like, what are we going to trade for Cody Bellinger? Because if we trade for Cody Bellinger, it's going to be just so many issues of like, okay, how the heck are we going to get him to like agree to a deal? Or how are we going to do this? Or how, like, if he starts being inconsistent, who replaces his production in the lineup? He is a good player and he plays well. He played well in 2023, and last year he played above average, but he's kind of like blah. Bellinger is going to be a Yankee now. I definitely think that's possible with the Cubs' history of trading with the Yankees, but I just think that it's I definitely think that's possible, though. They do want to replace the production, but I think the Yankees are a bit bullish on Alonso or Walker. It's definitely interesting to see. Cubs might give him away because they need the money. I agree. I agree with that. Hold on. Let me blow my nose. All right. Belly's plan B for whoever loses out on Bregman and Christian Walker. I agree with that. I think that most teams, Belly is a decent player, but I don't think he's as good as Alex Bregman. I don't think he's as good as Christian Walker, and he's certainly not as good as Pete Alonso. I think most teams would be more pursuant of those guys. The thing is, though, we already have a first baseman and an infield that's pretty locked up. I would be more inclined to go after an outfielder of some sort. But also, Bellinger in the field is a little questionable. Hold on. Let me just go to Cody Bell. Oh, God, that's bad. Anyone want to take a look at these? I mean, yeah. I like Belly more than Alonso. I don't disagree. It's just like when Bellinger is good, he's really good. It's just like he's wildly inconsistent. I mean, yeah. Belly is a Gold Glove level at first, and all of the spot. Sorry, I can't speak. The thing is, though, about the first base thing, we need first base to be open because we need to be able to put Bryce Eldridge there. He could play right field, Cody Bellinger, but like, look at these stats and tell me you're not a little worried about him. I mean, like, this is all a little. I mean, the year before that, he was pretty freaking good. But this year, he has been shaky. He's not a bad player, okay? I want to emphasize this. He hits home runs. He's got decent OPS. He can slug okay. And the average is kind of is suspect. But honestly, he's not a terrible player. He's just a little shaky. It's just I wouldn't want to trade a lot for him. If the Cubs came to me and said, hey, we'll give him up for like one or two decent prospects, I'd say okay. But it's like, I would prefer Babe's plan of getting Suzuki because Suzuki is a little better, in my opinion. I like Suzuki a little bit more, but I think it's pretty clear at this point that this needs to be the priority. I think we need Corbin Burnes. That would be the biggest thing that I would be worrying about right now. Corbin, if we can get Corbin Burnes, I would literally lose my mind. I'd be so happy because it's been pretty cool. Because there's been a lot of contradictory stuff. Because there's been a lot of stuff that says, oh, the Red Sox are going to get him. Oh, the Blue Jays. Oh, us. I mean, there's just been just a variety of crazy information that's been out by Sports Illustrated. I haven't heard anything from Passan or anybody else because it's been pretty quiet, if I'm being totally honest. But yeah. Like, I'm looking at all this information. It's been pretty bizarre. But yeah, I haven't heard anything big. I mean, we've heard stuff about the Giants, but it's just been kind of eh. If anyone else has anything else to bring up, I'm here for it. But it's like, these are the guys I would be like targeting in the skill positions, but the pitching, in my opinion, means so much more right now. There's a lot of opportunity, though. Seiya Suzuki's out there. Teo is still in the market somehow. I'm surprised, but yeah. I feel Buster is ironing out the details of the contract with Burnes. Burnes wants the West Coast. I think he wants to come home. I think he wants to come home to the West Coast. I don't think he likes Baltimore. I mean, it's kind of crazy how Baltimore wasn't even a conversation. Like, I haven't even heard their damn name. As far as I can hear, I haven't even heard their damn name. I mean, like, it's interesting to know that Baltimore really didn't do anything. I mean, like, Jesus. I feel like that's possible, though. I think they're just trying to figure out how they're going to set this up. But yeah, I want to trade for Jordan Montgomery for paying us on the dollars and have the D-backs pay some of the salary. That's possible. That's certainly possible. Again, if it's pennies on the dollar, like if we gave him Lamont Wade Jr., because they're about to lose Christian Walker, or like a couple other random pieces, like I'd be for it. It just have to be like maybe like some random pieces of stuff. I mean, like Jordan Montgomery, he's trying to prove himself again, but I'm interested, I'm interested to see how it all takes shape. I'm not going to blow my nose again. All right. I mean, think Nolan Arenado and Cody Bellinger ends up Yankee. I think that is true. I think that third base is going to be. I think third base, Arenado fills it up, and then Jazz goes back to the outfield. I think that Bellinger can switch between first base and the outfield from time to time. I think that's what I think happens. I think that's possible. I think that Arenado has been actively shopped. That's been something that is just not a question at this point. I think that Arenado will get traded at some point. It's going to be for something not huge necessarily, but it will be for something good. And then Bellinger has been kind of traded guy for a little while now. I think that he may go to the Yankees too. That's possible, but yeah. Trade Yaz and Tyler Rogers. Not Tyler Rogers or Taylor Rogers. Because if it's Taylor Rogers and Yaz, I would be totally for that. But I think that it's definitely possible. Yeah. Both Rogers? I feel like Tyler Rogers we need to hold on to for the trade deadline. I feel like some teams are going to be hungry for relievers and they need a guy like Tyler Rogers. I think we should keep Tyler Rogers. I think he's a genuinely good player. I like the Tyler Rogers as a player. Taylor Rogers, genuinely not a great reliever, but I think that we should keep Tyler. But I would say Yaz and Taylor Rogers, maybe Lamont Wade Jr. for Jordan Montgomery. I'd be for it because we could give Jordan Montgomery another chance to play. But we'll have to see, obviously. But I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Hold on, let me just I need to get my my laptop. Yeah, this is what the lineup looks like. The staff, farm right now. The holes are here. We need one other starting pitcher at least. And then targets are these people for the skill positions and pitching. But we'll have to see there. Yeah, this was supposed to be a short one because I'm going to be going in a minute. I'm packing up. I'm leaving college because it's I just finished my finals and everything else. I'm cool there. But we'll have to see. I think I might go into the chat later with you guys, but yeah, I would love Tanner Scott. I would absolutely adore getting Tanner Scott. I mean, Tanner Scott's a monster. If we got Tanner Scott, I would not say a bad thing ever again. I mean, Jesus, that dude's really good. I would love. Oh yeah, Tanner Scott. Yeah, let's do that. You know what? Tanner Scott, is he a priority? Here's the thing. I put the orange as priority. Priority would be those guys. I mean, I think starting pitching is the priority right now. I do like Tanner Scott, but let's give him I don't know, let's give him a different color. Like blue. Oh, that's too dark. No, that's too dark. Let's not do that. Like that. That's the blue. That's here's the thing. I think he's a luxury. He's a luxury. Adi Rip. Yep. That dream disappeared pretty damn quickly. That's for sure. But, sorry. This is annoying me right now. Hold on. But yeah, I think that's a luxury. I would really like it, but it's a luxury. You should highlight the players we hate to add. Hi, Adi. Good to see you. Okay, the thing is, the reason why I have these at targets though, Ed, is because I really like these guys. I'm still going with my OG plan to get Teo Burns and Sasaki. I would really if we got if we only got a third of your plan, I'm going to say this, Adi, even if we got one of those guys, I would be totally happy. I'm literally not unhappy with any of that. If we got Sasaki, I'm happy. If we got Teo, I'm happy. If we get Burns, I'm extremely happy. If we get any of those guys, I'm going to be okay, we're looking better now. And honestly, I really like all these players. I mean, this is interesting. I think a lot of these guys are luxury picks, to be fair. Hold on, let me just those are guys that could be traded. But literally, the orange is going to be the priorities. These are going to be the guys that I'm looking at and being you know what? These are the people we have to get. But if we got Teo or Suzuki, I would be pretty happy. If we got Teo especially, I really love Teoscar Hernandez. He's a great player. What do you worry about? Oh, are you worried about how quiet the Padres are? I am a little because I feel like they're planning for Roki Sasaki. They are big on Roki Sasaki. That's the thing. I agree, but I think we can genuinely get 2 or 3 of sorry, I can't speak. I agree, but I genuinely think we get 2/3 of it, and the wild card being Sasaki. And Adi also voices the same fear that Sasaki might go to the Padres. And that is genuinely a concern because I feel like one of our rivals down south is going to get Sasaki. I feel like we could get him, though. And that could be interesting. I do think it's certainly possible to pull off 2/3 of this. If we got any of those players, even just 1/3 of Adi's plan, I would be super happy. So, and I think it's totally possible to get any of them. It's just, it's tough because we could definitely get Roki Sasaki purely because of the ballpark we have. He would be happy to be there, but I think Corbin Burns and Sasaki should be the priorities. I do think Teo could be a great player to get, but it has been quiet on that front, hasn't it? I mean, after they signed Michael Conforto for left field, I've been surprised about how quiet it's been. Andy Pages, I don't know who the heck is going to be in right because they're doing the stupid experiment of putting Mookie at shortstop. But yeah. Hot take: Padres trade Jackson Merrill to get rid of Xander Bogaerts' contract. I don't think so. I think Jackson Merrill is genuinely one of the best freaking rookies in baseball. He's one of the best in the world right now. It's not just that he's a great player, a great rookie. He's one of the best in the world. They doing that would be very risky. And they're asking, I mean, even if Xander Bogaerts' contract is bad, which it really is, it's just like, I don't think they would trade away Jackson Merrill. Hold on. Let me just go get his Xander Bogaerts. Let me get his contract really quick. I mean, yikes. God, that is a horrible contract. That is a horrible contract. Jesus. That is like, oh, that's so bad. That is horrible. The last good season he had was in Boston. What the heck? Dude. What is that contract? Oh my gosh, that is horrible. Man, I'm glad we don't have an albatross. The thing is, even if Burns signs with us, we absolutely cannot trout out Yaz as our opening day right fielder. Teo won't cost you a long contract, and you can let McRae develop. And I don't know what to do with Matos. Yeah, I agree with all of that. Matos is going to be an interesting guy to look at for the next few years. I genuinely think McRae could develop and go to right field. I've talked about this for a little bit about how well he was with his glove. I wonder if we could put him out in right. But I'm genuinely like, how are we going to I think Burns would be the biggest thing. If you can get me, again, about Adi's plan, just get me one of those guys and I'm happy. It's a little risky because Sasaki, like Adi said, is the biggest wild card out of all of those guys. It's a risk, but it's worth the risk in a lot of ways. I mean, it's just something to consider, but we'll have to see. If Buster relates to Sasaki about growing up as a Braves fan and to neutralize his Dodger fandom, just focus on making the MLB should be the focus. I just hope their pitch is very strong. I agree with that. Flaherty and Ha-Seong Kim. No, I would easily take Corbin Burns over all of that. I'm sorry, Ed. I mean, Corbin Burns is easily the best out of all of those guys. And if Corbin Burns, even if we lose international pool money, I would definitely say I would take him. If we could get some international pool money back from the Cubs or some other team, but just giving him a good player, I'm cool with everything. It's just, we need money. We need money for Sasaki. But I agree with Babe. We need to get Sasaki to relate to Sasaki with Buster he was a Braves fan. If I'm not mistaken, hold on. Give me a second. I mean, yeah, it's just interesting. I mean, there's been a lot of different information. I mean, we'll have to see. Glad for the Astros downfall. I don't think the Astros are ever going to be on downfall. Until the Astros and the Braves show me that they're a terrible team now, I genuinely think that the Astros are going to be good for so long with their farm system, with Yordan, with Diaz, with a bunch of other guys. I think they're fine. Flashers, are more above average players, quality over quantity, especially with our roster being 40 right now. Cubs overpaid for 1 year of Kyle Tucker. Certainly possible. I mean, it depends on what Kyle Tucker does. If he comes, for example, if Kyle Tucker says, you know what, screw you guys, I'm not going to be staying here, and just decides, I'm going to go to free agency, then yes, the Cubs overpaid. But if the Cubs already have a deal with Kyle Tucker, like, hey, if you come here, we're going to pay you this much money, then it's fine. But until that's to be seen, there's a lot of question marks on that. I meant Flaherty, not Flashers. No, yeah, I think I said this about Flaherty and Ha-Seong Kim earlier. Like, those two players are really good players. The problem with both of Flaherty and Ha-Seong Kim is very simple, in my opinion. As good as they are as players, they aren't going to carry your team. And the reason why Flaherty was so good with the Dodgers is because he was able to come in and support and save a Dodgers team that really needed just that one decent quality piece to help them get better. That's it. It's not necessarily that that Flaherty's a bad player. He's not a bad player. He's a great player. He's just not the guy you asked to carry your team. Hicks can help us draw Flaherty in. They were teammates in St. Louis. That's very interesting, actually. I didn't know that. Well, that's certainly possible. I mean, there you go. There's so many. That's what I love about offseason. It's the dynamics. It's the possibility. We'll have to see, but I'm just going to I'm going to Google Corbin Burnes, and I'm just going to be clicking reload for the rest of the day and just checking, like, hey, what are we going to be doing? But yeah, hold on. Let me blow my nose again. All right. What else do I have to say? There's just a lot of Tanner Scott, Leclerc. I don't know how to just hold on. Give me a second. I gotta give we'll go with purple. No, that's pink. Purple is for like the luxury players, for the guys that we could be like, you know what, that'll be cool. But Santander is also a bit of a luxury guy. I don't know if Teo is a luxury guy. He's like somewhere in between. He's a cool player, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see about Teo. He's definitely a cool player that would be. I would love to have Teoscar Hernandez in left field with Ramos sliding to right. I mean, I just wonder like how he's going to handle the outfield at Oracle. Then again, he's played against us a lot at Oracle, so he's probably fine. But we'll have to see in other instances. But yeah, Cody Bellinger, dude, there's so much different stuff. And we have 69 days till spring training games. No jokes. Okay, no jokes. Stop that. I know what you were thinking. Don't say anything. Right field is a borderline need, and he hits for average power and with runners in scoring position. He's clutch. I agree with all those things. It's just, let me just find something really quick. Let me just get Teo's information. Okay. So, yeah, let's talk about Teoscar Hernandez as a player. He crushes the ball. There's no doubt about that. He's fast as well. He's got good slugging percentage. He's got good OBP. He gets on base. He hits for power. He's got home run ability. He's great at all these things. Look at the range he has as a player. And let's look at the year before that. He was average again with another team, but look at the year before that, even more average. 21, average to bad. He's a great player. I don't doubt that. It's just like this number with outs above average is a genuine concern, in my opinion, especially if you're playing a right field like Teoscar Hernandez. It's just like a right field like ours is really difficult to control, and I'm very skeptical. I'm not saying, again, he's not a bad player. Any of these players would literally be fantastic. As Adi said, like, If we could just get one, as Adi said, if we got 2/3 of this, that would be incredible with Roki being the wild card. But if we got, in my opinion, just 1/3 of Adi's plan, I would literally lose my mind with happiness. It would be such a good thing. But I think a lot of these purples that I have here, a lot of these are luxury guys. I mean, Santander is a luxury. Tanner Scott is a luxury. Teoscar Hernandez is an interesting piece. I would like to have him. I mean, there's just so many interesting things that could happen this offseason, but we'll have to see. I think if we sign Teo, it would make more sense to put Ramos in right and Teo in left. I would agree with that. Because Teo, I don't know how he would handle the Oracle Parks outfield wall. I mean, that's just it's so tedious to be out there and playing in right field. I mean, again, I would love to see him. He'd be a great player to have, but we'll have to see. We will have to see. But other than that, like, I think that trade that was made is a really interesting one. It's too bad. That would have been a really, really nice trade for us to make. But I think a couple of different people mentioned this. I don't think we have the prospects that the Astros wanted. We could have probably offered Whisenhunt and maybe even Harrison, but I feel like Buster's bullish on protecting his prospects. I don't know why, but if we had an opportunity to get our hands on a guy like Roki Sasaki or better, or even a guy like Burns, I would be, other than that, I would literally just say, you know what? I'm cool with everything. Just anything else. Like, if we can get a pitcher, just one more guy, it's icing on the cake, in my opinion. Like, that's it. I just need one starting pitcher. If you can get me a starting pitcher, young, old, whatever, a really good one too, I can just be like, you know what? It's fine. Like, anything else after this is icing on the cake. But for now, I'm just going to be clicking reload on Corbin Burns on Google, and we're going to see what happens. But yeah, we have a lot of we have a lot of information streaming in right now. I mean, man, I'm so glad that Soto actually signed his contract, because now everybody can get paid. It was so quiet on the Western Front for a minute. We finally have moves. We have movement. Also, Devin Williams got traded to the Yankees, which is definitely interesting. They gave up a couple people. But yeah, we got some minor league news as well. I mean, Loaizaga is returning to the Yankees. Devin Williams is going to be playing for the Yankees as well. They're bolstering up that bullpen, even though they're ignoring their obvious weaknesses at first base right now. We'll see how it all goes, but the off season has just turned into drama. We'll have to see, obviously, but I am very, very happy with how things have gone so far. Definitely. I mean, come on, man. This has been incredible. But yeah, let's hold on. I really do want to switch back to this for a second about Teoscar Hernandez, but honestly, I think Adi's plan would be the best. We move him into left field and let Ramos take over our right. Ramos made some great right field plays this year as well. I just want to see how all that goes. Corner outfield. I'm getting a call. Hold on. Give me a second. And on that note, gentlemen, I think it's my time to go. If this was Jeff Young tweet about 10 minutes ago, I'll paste you two texts. Oh, okay. I'm looking into Corbin Burns' current market. I just do not see too many teams in the mix. Current breakdown: Giants, Jays, mystery team. The Giants and the Blue Jays have been mentioned as frontrunners. Giants have perceived geographic advantage. Yeah, I agree with all that. But hey, that'll be for later on Giants Sports Talk Live tonight because I gotta go. I have to go home because I finished my finals and my mom's coming to pick me up here at school. So hey, I appreciate you guys. I promise to do better. Adi, thank you. Ed, Daniel, Babe, appreciate you guys. I do have to go now. Drew, thanks for coming by. I appreciate you guys. I got to go, though. I promise to do better. I'm going to keep doing these shows, and I got to do better for Eric, Glenn, and everybody else. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming to talk to me about this breaking news. And as always, see ya.
You've been watching the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network, a Northern Lights Entertainment broadcasting station.